The YSL RICO case just changed forever. Today it would be announced Judge Glanville has been recused from the YSL RICO trial after Young Thug and his co-defendants petitioned to have him removed. As the judge is now officially gone from the YSL RICO trial, this would then lead into announcement of Judge Ingram has now been assigned as the new judge in Young Thug's RICO trial. However, lawyers have different opinions on what this truly means.
I smell RICO charges. Judge Glanville has been recused from the YSL trial. This is the order from Judge Rachel Krause granting the motion to recuse Judge Glanville from the case. Now, will this case continue with a new judge taking over midway? I don't think so. I think you have to start from scratch, which means new jury. That new judge is going to have to come up to speed with all of the evidentiary rulings that have happened in this case, and then you start all over again. When is this trial supposed to finish? 2030? It's a damn shame because this guy probably had a great long career. He was the chief judge in Fulton County. He's a military veteran. He's probably a very accomplished individual, but his legacy will be nothing more than he was extremely biased. He had it out for the defendants.
As the famous rap lawyer believes that the RICO charges against the 20 YSL members are now practically non-existent. Lawyers don't believe that any judge will be up to the task for this RICO trial, and this would be further proven as the famous rap lawyer would go on to explain Young Thug's next move.
What's next in the YSL case? We have a new judge. Judge Ingram has been assigned the case. You're gonna see a couple of motions filed by each of the defendants. First, they're going to file a motion for bond. Second, they're going to file a motion for a mistrial. The bond argument is easy. They're going to argue he's been locked up forever. Now he's going to be locked up for God knows how long is forever. Can we get him a bond? The argument for a mistrial is going to be very interesting. They're going to go to Judge Ingram and they're going to say, Judge Ingram, you're going to have to pick up this case midway. You're going to have to make all these rulings going forward. But before you can do that, you got to read about everything that's happened. You got to read about the court transcript, every line from the longest trial in Georgia history. This is already the longest trial ever. Then you're going to have to read about all the motions, evidentiary objections, pre-trial rulings, in-trial rulings. It's going to take you God knows how long before the trial is ready to resume. And will the jury be ready to resume? They've already been out for weeks.
Now, only one day later, the second judge would now also leave the YSL RICO trial. It would be announced the new judge assigned to the YSL RICO trial recuses herself after only 2 days on the case, making it now needing a third judge in a YSL RICO trial that has been one of the longest trials ever inside of a court system. Lawyers online have predicted that Young Thug's lawyer will be yelling for a mistrial this week. Even Kodak Black's lawyer said, and I quote, "The case and the judge is off the reservation. This is an instant mistrial. I cannot believe the judge thinks taking a defense attorney into custody isn't a mistrial." As Judge Glanville thought that it was okay to have Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, arrested in the middle of the courtroom 2 weeks ago.
Take Mr. Steele into custody, please. Yes, sir, you certainly may. Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial.
This is what started the entire mess that has been the last week. Judge Glanville wanted to arrest Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele because he wasn't snitching. The prosecutors were trying to pin evidence against Young Thug for taking someone's life. However, Brian Steele got intel from a source of his relating that YSL Woody was actually the one guilty for the crime and not Young Thug. However, only the judge's corner was supposed to know that information for right now. So the judge goes on to ask Brian Steele, how in the world do you know this?
Note that for purposes of record. Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said, and you haven't answered my question yet. I'm not. How did you answer that question? You're not? No, I will not answer that question. Why will you not answer that question? Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to...
No. I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems, okay, at this point in time. All I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
a witness.
As what you are seeing right here is Brian Steele standing on business for his client Young Thug, sticking to the literal street code of never snitch, never tell. Sources inside of the courtroom also shared that Young Thug was shaking his head up and down, showing that he respects what his lawyer just did. Now, Brian would then be sentenced to jail. It goes on and reads, Thug's lawyer has been sentenced to 10 weekends in jail. He asks that if he doesn't get a bond, is he allowed to spend those weekends in jail with Young Thug? Judge Glanville agreed. This would have meant that Brian Steele would have been bunkmates with Young Thug for 10 weekends. However, when Brian Steele got arrested inside a court, 40 lawyers stormed the courtroom, getting Brian Steele a release from his jail duties on a bond. However, the madness doesn't end here, and this is what will likely cause the mistrial, as a report would then come out sharing, and I quote, Young Thug's co-counsel, Keith Adams, just said that he has the same information as Brian Steele, and he has now filed a motion for mistrial. This is then what left hip-hop reporters sharing, the Young Thug YSL trial is in shambles. Surely this is a mistrial within 24 hours. This even left Lil Baby reacting, sharing, give Thug a mistrial and free slime. The mistrial hope will happen for one specific reason, and allow me to explain. It is all based on the prosecutors literally not doing their jobs correctly and having good evidence against Young Thug. It reads, the judge in Young Thug's trial was just arguing with the state because they were unprepared with evidence.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen. No. We're excluding that. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them, we'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm going to exclude those two sections.
There's nothing.
I'm not gonna have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not.
Talked to them this morning
I don't.
About that.
Well, you know what?
And I attempted to try to talk to them earlier this week.
Well, then that's why we have to.
The court punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody.
This led into the prosecutors having a meltdown inside of the courtroom. It would be announced an ex-investigator with the Atlanta Police Department took the stand under cross-examination on Monday in the RICO trial. During one moment, former investigator Lakia got into a brief exchange with Young Thug's defense attorney, Max.
And D'Angelo White's response was, we had, correct?
Yes, he did say that, and it was more to that as well.
We had guns and
yes, he stated that.
Okay. We, being plural, correct? Correct?
Are you insulting my intelligence by asking if we means plural? I think you are, though.
Okay.
I think you are.
All right, well,
sir, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, sir, let's be respectful to our witness, okay?
I'm being very respectful, Judge, and I always will.
I doubt it.
As what started the entire madness that has been going on with every judge getting thrown out is that the Atlanta Police Department are trying to lie about evidence on Young Thug. Young Thug's main lawyer would end up calling out the Atlanta Police Department for lying on evidence. It goes and reads, Your Honor, as my eyes roll, I'm about to show you why I don't believe the city of Atlanta at all.
I have
no recording of whom.
Detective Lewis at the hospital, Grady Hospital, September 11, 2013, meets with Walter Murphy. And Your Honor, as my eyes roll out of my head, I'm about to show you why I do not believe the City of Atlanta Police Department at all. This is served in discovery. I will mark it Mr. Williams C and D. And then you tell me if I'm supposed to believe the allegations
from the state of Georgia.
As this would be the first moment that Judge Glanville would think about leaving the entire YSL trial. He would go on to yell at Young Thug's attorney Brian Steele for stating that the Atlanta Police Department lies about evidence, asking Brian, is this something you really want to do? This could jeopardize your entire career.
Well, not conceding that? Well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth. Yeah, well, you have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge,
it's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
In the September 17, 2000.
You were saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How can you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As the evidence that they are discussing is based around a man named Adrian Bean, the Atlanta police are trying to use evidence against Young Thug that Adrian told them in 2013. However, now, because the Atlanta Police Department took so long to start the YSL RICO trial, Adrian has now said in 2024 he doesn't remember giving them that evidence 10 years ago. The original report reads, keep in mind, Adrian Bean is not bound by a plea deal. He was a part of a 2013 crime where 4 were involved, but 1 escaped and was never caught. They need Adrian to snitch on Young Thug on the stand like he did with the police in 2013. However, now he refuses, as Young Thug was that one person that did the crime and escaped and was never caught. Adrian told them this in 2013, and Adrian snitching here is the only evidence they have that Young Thug had any part of this crime.
After you answer the question, which you have to do.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. What I have to do is ask you some questions and determine what you do and don't remember. So, what is your response as to whether or not you recognize the images shown in Defendant's Exhibit number 8?
I don't remember.
All right. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize what's shown there?
No, ma'am.
All right. What about number 101 for defendant exhibits?
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for defendant's exhibit number 82, number 89, and defendant's exhibit 90?
Yes, ma'am.
Lots can happen within 11 years. The crime did occur in 2013. Some sources claim that YSL members could have paid Adrian off to not snitch, but others believe that he actually did forget about the crime. Adrian would nearly break down in tears, revealing why he forgot, and it's something that you definitely need to see.
I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago,
as the prosecutors need him to snitch on Young Thug very badly. The YSL RICO trial has been going on for 2 years, and the one reason why this will be a mistrial within the coming days is because the only evidence they have against Young Thug, meanwhile they don't even have a judge, is that one police officer would reveal that Lil Wayne has the same street affiliation as Young Thug.
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay. And does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is that?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury, if you need to stand with the stick, and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.
The investigator is trying to prove to the jury that rappers have street affiliations, like it really matters. And then the second rapper would be YNW Melly. He would bring up a Facebook post of Young Thug and Melly where the two claim to be a part of Together's street teams.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with Young Thug, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with the 5-point star as well. Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.